Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Story is Sacred. If you've never listened before, basically we're four siblings who grew up talking about the art of storytelling. Now that we're adults, we're still talking about it, and we're inviting you to join the conversation. I'm Kat, and my gender is woman and blacksmith.
I'm Brendan, and you wouldn't guess it, but I actually have Paul Bettany here today, and he's going to be introducing me. Paul? Are you feeling a little shy? A little burned out? Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay, he's not going to introduce me. Shoot.
He has a gambling problem. He can't.
Yeah. He is also completely nude. It's a little awkward.
It's very strange. That keeps happening to you, Brendan. Just Paul Bettany showing up naked in your house.
Yeah.
Listen, are you putting out some special kind of cat food or something? Like, what do we have to do?
I think it's just the fact that, Benji just attracts everybody to the house. So,
Aww. That scams.
But it's also only people named Paul. So, like, last week it was Paul Giamatti. It was, again, super awkward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you got free performance of 1776 out of him. So, that's good.
He was nude.
Kat, John Adams often was. So.
Kat, I want you to know, because I'm not going to let this go, that I think you've confused the musical 1776 with the HBO miniseries John Adams.
Yes, probably.
Because let me tell you, Paul Giamatti, to the best of my knowledge, does not sing.
For some reason, I thought he was John Adams in the. First of all, how dare you say that Paul Giamatti can't sing? I bet he has a lovely voice. Paul, give me a call.
But not a professional musical theater voice, like, say, Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney is a genius and a god among men.
Anyway, I'm Pippin.
And you know the difference between John Adams' miniseries and 1776.
True, I do. I'm Pippin, and I like musicals.
None of which we are doing here today.
Which is a tragedy.
Yeah, that was your intro. You're done.
It should be. I'm Pippin, and I need the rules of jousting explained to me by a smug man, even though I've been attending them forever, and it's not that complicated.
Wait, what do you mean attending them forever?
The princess she'd been to them before.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay. For a second I thought you were talking about you, and I'm like, no, Pippin.
I've read about
them from the 21st century.
I read about them, though. I already knew all the rules.
Okay, reading about Alana does not count, Pippin.
Doesn't it?
And really, we only ever watched The Melee. I mean, come on.
Though we do have to admit that is a clever way of explaining, doing an as you know, Bob.
Listen,
mansplain. Having a mansplain.
He was a mansplainer. Having the villain do the mansplaining, excellent.
Yeah.
Also, frankly, having Rufus Sewell do it, that's fine. He can explain all sorts of things to me. I'm okay with that.
Y'all, we're not even through the intro yet.
Nope. Hey, Alex, who are you?
I'm Ulrich von Liechtenstein of Gelderland, and I have patents of nobility going 6 generations back to prove it.
Liar.
No. I tell you, talking to this, James McDonald, you're Alex.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you went onto the roof and everything. Like, why would you?
Guys, don't ruin this for me.
Listen, run away. Just leave. It's the best thing you can do.
Run away. And don't ever come back.
Get!
You were weighed, you were measured, and you were found wanting.
Wait, guys, what are we dancing around in terms of?
Still not through the intro.
I think this holds the record for longest intro.
I think you're right, but you know what? If I'm nothing, if not someone who wants to destroy records, today,
like the main character.
As a matter of fact.
What?
But also, I don't want my record ruined. Please be honorable. Today, we're talking about the 2001 movie, A Knight's Tale. If you've never watched A Knight's Tale, first of all, I'm so sorry. It's a fantastic movie, and I refuse to hear otherwise.
Oh, we're gonna have a fight later.
Oh my god. The summary, according to Google, is: peasant-born William Thatcher begins a quest to change his stars, win the heart of an exceedingly fair maiden, and rock his medieval world. With the help of friends, he faces the ultimate test of medieval gallantry. Tournament jousting. Okay, that's not even close to being accurate. And tries to discover if he has the mettle to become a legend. And that's also not it. I mean, like, legend's not really part of it. But okay, whatever. That's the end of that description.
Yeah, yep. There we go. We're done. Hey, longest intro, shortest episode.
It's such a bullshit description. I mean, it's vaguely accurate, but
it's more accurate than a lot of these have been, though.
That's very
50% of them. It is like, 50th percentile still ain't half bad. Or actually, I guess that is exactly half bad, but still.
Math genius over here. Thank you. That was my newsy voice.
So here's the thing about this movie.
No.
Maybe, okay.
You shouldn't be allowed to talk first. You don't like it.
I think this is one of those things where you had to be at the right age at the right time.
And maybe not watching it when you were in a bad mood, which I admit to doing.
Haha.
Oh.
I'm also going to make a confession. I was unable to finish it. Not for the reasons you think, Kat, but for the other reasons that you think.
You didn't want to.
No. Kat,
Yeah.
Siblings, you know me.
I do. Oh, wait, I do know what you're talking about now. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
This is a movie that frequently relies on William being ignorant or at really least oblivious to, courtly manners.
You didn't make it past the dance scene, did you?
I didn't make it to the dance scene.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Gentle audience, Alex does not do embarrassment humor.
At all.
Nope.
He is to embarrassment humor as I am to horror. Just, it's a no.
Yeah.
Like, how many minutes did you get into The Office?
Kat has made me watch at least one or two episodes.
One episode. And it was, to be fair, it was before I realized that it was like Pippin's horror thing. So the episode that we watched was the dinner party.
Cat!
Which is a little bit like showing Pippin, like...
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Or like Get Out and you can't close your eyes.
I don't even really watch The Office and I know. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. This is part of my learning curve of learning this thing.
Really, I'm still impressed with myself to this day for having made it through all of New Girl with as copious use of the escape hoodie.
The escape hoodie is very important. And look, New Girl taught you that.
Yeah.
But now that means we actually really do need to explain what happens in A Knight's Tale for Alex's sake.
Yes.
Thank you, Pep.
For Alex.
Should it be somebody who really likes the movie, although it has problems, or somebody who doesn't like the movie, or Brendan?
Oh, jeez. That's putting a lot of pressure on me because I'm not good at explaining things, and you know this. So the movie starts with a dead guy.
As the way all good stories should.
In that the knight that our main character, William, is squired to, along with his two squire friends, who I think one was named Roland and the other was...
Named Alan Tudyk.
What? W-A-T.
You want... What?
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 Roland, otherwise known as King Baratheon.
That's how I knew him.
No wonder he looks familiar.
I told you guys that.
Yeah,
we only pay attention like half the time.
Fucking wow.
So anyway,
he was also in the Full Monty. Thank you.
So the Joker, Robert Baratheon, and
Wash
and
Alan Tudyk
discover that their knight is dead, and he only has one more ride left, and
also they're stuck in another country.
And have no money, and they need food because
3 days. They haven't eaten in 3 days.
But if he lived, it'd be like a guarantee win.
So long as he stays in the horse.
Yeah.
On the horse. Not in the horse, on the horse.
Very different movie if it's in the horse.
Ooh.
Next thing you know, you're on Hoth, you're freezing, things have to be done.
And so William having, I guess, ideas in his head. As we go through the movie, we discover this is a long-time dream of his to be like a knight in the competition and all that. Yay, dreams. You too can accomplish them. Goes, guys.
Guys.
I have an idea.
Oh my God.
I know how to ride a horse. I can hold a stick. I have an aspiration here. I am clearly the most handsome one of our group.
Alan Tudyk cries in the corner.
Just a little
Paul
bit.
Bettany has yet to arrive.
So true.
And so dons the dead man's armor.
As one does.
Rides sufficiently enough such that they win their first little, like, this would be like minor leagues equivalent of like a tourney, but it's enough for them to get a payday. And of course, young William, riding that high, goes, guys,
let's keep going. Let's let it ride, you guys.
let it ride. Ride or die. Ride or die. Come on.
Wait, what's that line from Empire Records with the gambling?
I'm guided by a force much greater than luck.
Yeah, that one.
Where is the money, William?
It's in France.
What's it doing in France?
Recirculating.
Anyway, we already did an episode on
Empire Records, and it's amazing.
So the problems with his plan is, one, he
So
doesn't
many.
actually have proper training. Two, you can only be in the tourney if you're nobility, and he very much is not.
Well, the problem is that so this is a sports movie, okay? And if he was okay with being in like little, like minor leagues, like local pickup games, that would be fine. But apparently he wants to be in bigger ones, which are like more official. So it's like a random dude showing up at like a minor leagues game as
at the
opposed
Olympics.
to being like, hey guys, I'm here to fight. And they're like, okay, so who the fuck are you then? And he's like, oh.
I mean, to be fair, technically the smaller league ones was also not allowed.
True, but they took your word.
Yeah, they take your word for it.
They figure they'll lie their way through that, but first they do a training montage, because of course it's a sports movie, so you have a training montage, and afterwards they're riding along, and who do they spy?
Naked Paul Bettany.
Woo!
Yes, Paul Bettany playing Geoffrey Chaucer, whatever.
Chaucer.
Rhymes with saucer.
See, I am cultured. I am an engineer, damn it. And who happens to be, as we alluded to in the intro, completely naked and
Hell
walking
yeah.
down the road.
Proudly.
Naked and beaten.
Yes.
Which is definitely a look, Paul Bettany.
And they asked, like, oh, like, did you lose your money or was it taken from you? And he just went, yes.
And he does the quintessential writer thing. He's like, yeah, so my name's Geoffrey Chaucer. And they're like, okay. He's like, the writer. And they're like, what even is that? And he's like, well, I write stuff with, like, words, but I also sometimes do poetry. You may have read my book. And they're like, what are you talking about?
What is a book?
I believe the implication was that, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is pre-Canterbury Tales, Chaucer, right?
I'm not sure they established that.
Canterbury Tales is what he's known for.
Yeah. I only...
And other stuff.
I only say that because at the very end, he kind of is like looking at like the story as it played as like, you know what? I could write a story about this.
Like, I did stay long enough to know that it is implied that it's before Canterbury Tales, because the Summoner and the Pardoner show up.
Yeah. I will also say that I did, Simon the Summoner and Peter the Pardoner or something like that.
The gambler. The people who he owed money to.
Also, though, A Knight's Tale is a reference to The Knight's Tale in Although the story is not the same, but the title is. What? And I read an interview where apparently this is supposed to take place over the course of 6 months that are missing in Geoffrey Chaucer's timeline. And I'm like, it's the 1400s. A lot's missing from the timeline.
Find something that you can definitively prove and we'll be impressed.
Yeah.
Jeff, we found your calendar, and it says you were having beers with the boys. Can you elaborate on that?
I had enough money that day to have beers. Thank you. And good night.
Oh, okay then.
But yeah.
What does boofing mean?
Chaucer
Sir.
waggles his eyebrows and is like, if you give me 5 pence, I'll show you. But this takes place in the grand tradition of what were various historical writers doing? Well, pick a spot when either they hadn't become famous yet or they're missing time. So that's Agatha Christie for Missing Time. Not famous yet, that's William Shakespeare, Shakespeare in Love. And Chaucer walked so that both of those could run. He did both.
But anyway, so they encountered Chaucer, and they're about to just leave him on the road, and
No less than he deserved.
and as he's like kind of like trying to haggle his way onto like maybe getting clothes and joining their party, he's like, yeah, I could write something for you, poetry, letters of nobility, birth certificates,
Letters of nobility.
letters, wedding invitations, and did I mention letters of nobility?
Just a thought. Just a thought.
And everybody's like, oh, I see why you're in the story now. Come aboard.
And by the way, that tourney you're going to requires Generation 6 back.
I just happen to know this off the top of my head. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Is that a plot device in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
And I happen to be an excellent bullshitter. Just saying.
Just saying. The fact that they believe him despite the fact he is a naked man in the road.
Here's the thing. None of these people are bright.
That's so true. They're all idiots. Except my favorite character, who we have not yet met. Although
yeah.
she kind of is too, to be honest.
Joins along with this merry band of idiots. Yeah.
Yeah, and gets easily, again, like, I heard that you aren't good at doing something. She's like, yeah, well, I'll show you.
Well, because
I'm like, oh, okay.
she shows up pretty soon because they all arrive at the first major league game. And that's when we also, I think, encounter our love interest as well as our antagonist, right?
Hell yeah.
Everybody's here. And William does really well at the melee. That's like his strong suit, really. But falls just short in the joust in this first game, losing to the antagonist. What's his name?
Rufus Sewell.
Count Adamare.
Count Adamare. Ah.
I may or may not have opened up IMDb before we even started.
Good call, Pippin. Good call.
Wow.
Because there was no chance in hell you were going to remember that name.
I wasn't going to remember William Thatcher's name.
Now, at this point, William is no longer technically William, because now he is in disguise as Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Of Gelderland.
Of Gelderland,
Gelderland.
yes. Oh, fancy Gelderland.
Beautiful Gelderland.
Right next to Genovia.
And Florin.
And where the Christmas Prince rules.
That little pocket of Europe.
Yep, yep.
The white one? That one.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at this point, we have basically our stakes for the rest of the movie established in pretty short order. We have our antagonist that Will is going to be striving to beat, who unleashes that really douchey line, you've been weighed, you've been measured, you've been found wanting.
It's a good
because,
line.
of course.
A good line, but come on, dude. It's sports ball.
Yeah.
It is
With
sports.
sticks.
Like, it's a sports movie. Come on now. Do you have anything else going on?
I mean,
And the answer is no.
all he has to do is also be established as a member of the ski patrol, and we have to out-ski him at the big race at the end of the month. Otherwise, we're going to be chased out of town, y'all.
But you've never skied the Double Black Diamond before.
I'm going for it.
Like, in the background, and $2.
That's something for a future episode. Haha.
Oh man.
Anyway. We'll find a way to do a medieval ski movie. That'll be our game later on. But yeah, we basically get like all the stakes established pretty well here, because we have, again, the bad guy being a jerk, and we also have the lovely Jocelyn.
A noble lady of some variety.
Yes.
She's not a princess because, to be fair, accurately, not a lot of those around.
Yeah.
True. Like, usually only one, right? In a kingdom?
Depending on how many daughters there are. She might have sisters.
As opposed to something like not the fair princess, she's like a random richer than everybody else person.
Yeah.
Though, is she actually a duke in disguise?
Woohoo. But she takes kind of a liking to Will because, come on, he was played by Heath Ledger.
Hell yeah.
Heath Ledger at the height of his powers.
No, as he was ascending. He was Heath Ledger ascending because he hadn't done Dark Knight yet. He hadn't even done Brokeback Mountain yet. He was like, I believe by this point he had done 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, I think so.
But he hadn't reached we're moving from heartthrob to actor. So this is Heath Ledger ascending.
Can we take a moment to think about what we could have had?
I genuinely was very fond of Heath Ledger in a parasocial way, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, and we shouldn't have parasocial relationship with actors.
This and Brittany Murphy's death were big hits to me. Because it was like that childhood thing, and also where they could have gone, etc.
Yeah, were he still alive, Heath Ledger would still be making fantastic movies today.
And possibly ones that we can't, like, of a quality that we cannot even imagine, because he really was heading into, to some greatness.
And maybe we wouldn't have gotten Jared Leto as the Joker, because no one would have tried that shit while he was still alive.
Hell no. Because I mean, people were doing Oscar buzz about a Batman movie because of Heath Ledger's performance.
Yep.
And
he died
before, but he died before the Oscars.
Aww.
Yeah, but he won, I think he won posthumously.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do you can't snub it when you're busy being like, oh, but he also died. So that would be rude if we snubbed it for being.
Let's lift our spirits here, because you know what? We also have another character, that we meet here in this first tourney, the blacksmith.
Kate, the blacksmith.
Because before the final joust of this initial competition, Will's armor gets damaged.
Because it's shit armor, to be fair. Pretty sure Sir Ector was kind of a shit, knight.
He was poor. He was a poor knight.
He was a poor knight, but he was a good man. He taught them well.
He did. Roland knew how to train Will. Come on.
Yeah.
But he goes to all the various blacksmiths, and all the blacksmiths are like, no, we don't.
Do you have money? Money? How about money?
We've met knights before. Pay in advance.
Well, worse, they've met wandering knights before, who are worse.
Yes, we've heard the excuse of you not having the money with you. You can come back when you have it with you. But of course, they all say like, well, maybe you could ask the farrier more. And of course, like, well, they said you couldn't make this armor, or couldn't fix this armor.
And to be fair, she's like, is it because I'm a girl? He's like, no, they didn't say shit about you being a girl. It's because they thought you weren't be good. You're just a horseshoes person.
Yeah, you're just good at ferrying.
Yep.
Obviously, it is because she's a girl, but because that's why she's a farrier instead of a armor.
Yeah.
But I do like that gag. Like, no, it had nothing to do with that. It was because of this.
Yeah, it was a cute gag. It was cute.
It was a cute gag.
And of course, she's like, I'll show you. And yeah. I can't remember. Did she make the super armor then, or
I think she made it later because you need money to make super armor.
That's right.
Yeah.
She worked up to it.
That's right. Oh, because it was with the winnings. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she fixes the armor, and then the tournament ends. But this starts Will's quest, really, to become the number one sportsman.
I mean, part of it is that he wants revenge. against the fellow who made him look, who told him that he would be a peasant forever and ever. And it's like, well, that's because you are, dude. I'm sorry. That's social class for you. Feudalism.
Huzzah.
But also made him look dumb in front of a girl he liked.
Yeah. No greater crime.
And of course, geez, they keep on running into each other in this next tournament, and that's when we also have the lightweight armor that Will's wearing that everybody's like, oh, what's that? And then he's able to get on a horse by himself, and everybody's like, oh, that's the gimmick. Okay.
Oh, when does he meet the mysterious knight?
That's
Sir Thomas Colville.
The next tournament with the super armor.
Okay.
So there's this knight incognito that
rich people incognito are the dumbest thing.
Yep.
I love it so much.
This knight in disguise, there we go, incognito, is about to joust against Adamar, and someone goes up and whispering something hurriedly in Adamar's ear, and Adamar immediately forfeits. And then it's Will's turn to go and joust against this guy, and same thing starts playing out, where somebody comes running up, it's like, dude, that's the Black Prince.
Well, to be fair, this is actually the second time he's jousted this guy.
The first time, the Black Prince managed to maintain his stupid incognito long enough to get, his ass kicked by our main character. But then he's like, listen, it's a matter of honor for me. I can't just leave, even though I will definitely die if you hit me again. Could you just, be chill with me? And recognizes I guess. He's like, yeah, I totally understand the need for honor or whatever. I'm a Thatcher son, I get it. And so they make a draw. They agree to a draw. And Adamar, the bad guy, is like, what? He could have totally killed him instantly. Weak. And the girl's like, I think it's amazing. Because she's busy being the girl of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say, and yet,
When your options are decent guy over there and the creep that's literally sitting next to you.
The creep who's sitting next to you, who has his hunting falcon just there for shits and giggles. Did you see that over the corner, over his shoulder?
This is my falcon. I named him Midnight.
He goes with me everywhere. I'm just saying. In case I need to hunt something real quick. Ooh.
So the second time they joust, the identity's revealed. And everyone's all like, you need to forfeit because you can't even kind of maybe risk killing the prince.
Be a bad idea. But Will being kind of stupid.
It's all like, he knew the risks he took.
Hey, he came to the jousting field. He fucked around. He gets to find out. But, they have an honest-to-God joust, and yeah, I think they leave that field basically as kind of bros, if not friends.
Yeah, because at the end, Will says, good job, Your Highness. And Black Princess is like, you got me. Thank you for jousting anyway.
You rapscallion. I like you. Hey, I'm going to send your mortal enemy to war just because I like you.
I mean, to be fair, yeah.
That's kind of what happened.
When you're prince, you can do shit like that, I guess.
Adamar gets sent to the front. Will just keep jousting.
I like to think that the prince was probably seeing Adamar be all kinds of creepy towards the lady love interest, and it's like, nah, we need to put a stop to that.
Well, also, though, it is a sports movie. I bet he was still feeling pissed that Adamar wouldn't fight him.
That too. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Because it's a sports movie.
You didn't have your bravery on the jousting field. You get to have your bravery with you in France. Have fun.
Womp womp.
And then more movie happens, I guess.
Yeah, then more fighting.
A lot of
more
scenes.
Montage.
Yeah.
The love story, such as it is, happens.
I think around this time, was it when Adamar came back, or when was the dance that Alex noped out of?
That he didn't even get to.
Adamar was at the dance. But he does not believe that what's-his-head is a true knight.
Yeah.
Rightly. So he's like, hey, where are you from again? And he's like, Gelderland, next door to, It's like, cool. Why don't you show us a dance from your land, sir? And then poor Heath Ledger's like, and then you take a step to the left and go na na na.
And then you cha-cha real smooth.
And then it's the time warp again. But his lady love steps in and fakes it along with him and turns it cool, because that's what you do when you're rich, is that you are the height of fashion.
I think she probably had an inkling of suspicion that he wasn't a true noble, but didn't care.
She had to know something.
What gave it away?
I feel like a lot of it might have just been, wow, dudes be weird. And to be fair, dudes be weird. So that happens.
Then they fuck, because apparently that's fine.
Until much later, though, because she has to do the bullshit, if you love me, lose thing.
Okay, that shit pisses me off. That was unnecessary and garbage. But that's because their whole romance is unnecessary and garbage. It's a sports movie. Who needs it?
But then, of course, like, before he loses the entire tournament, in which all his friends have bet 50 florins, which is all their money, then she's like, no, I want you to win now.
Because she's an idiot.
Yeah. And that gives him the motivation to win the tournament, because, of course, hey.
I mean, you could theoretically call this, like, an example of courtly love or some shit like that, but it's garbage.
Just pick up her handkerchief like a normal person.
This should have been his clue that she was not really for him, and he should have then turned to Kate.
It's true.
No, he should have turned to Paul Bettany.
That's true.
So many options.
Paul Bettany and Watt were the ones that... Bettany and Alan Tudyk.
Oh, no. Who was whispering in Heath Ledger's ear? Like, let me put my arm around you and start whispering in your ear, or some sweet nothings to say to a lady love.
Although I did also like when she's trying to flirt with him in a courtly love manner, and he takes it literally, and suddenly Chaucer swoops in from the left and just whispers loud enough for the mic to pick up. She's talking about being naked. And swoops out again. And
William's like, oh. Oh, geez. And Chaucer probably just like, idiots get all the luck.
What I love about this is Chaucer seems mostly involved in this because it's a lark. He has clothes, be fair, that's great. He has attention, and he has something to write about next week.
That's why he ends up like enjoying his stay, of course, because like he also has like this kind of gambling subplot that mostly gets resolved, I guess. Not really. I don't think it matters.
What in this movie actually matters?
Nothing, and that's why.
And that's what makes it great.
Haha.
You didn't even finish it. Step off.
I'm trying to...
He is supporting me. Thank you, Alec.
You're welcome.
What else?
Eventually they get to England.
Yeah. It's very emotional.
Where Will fucks up and actually lets people know that he's a peasant, because he goes and talks to his dad.
Oh no, because he had an emotional reunion with his father he hasn't seen in like 20 years? Yeah, fuck up.
Yeah, eyes on the fucking prize.
Yeah.
That's true, it is a sports movie. Come on, man.
At the very least, don't tell the random stranger on the street, oh yeah, I was born here.
Yeah, no, that was... Listen, we never said he was smart.
That blows plausible deniability out the window.
We never said he was smart, and we never said that he has not received quite a lot of head damage in the last 6 months.
No, well, now. He can still be over, like he's just like, kind of sort of a bastard son of a wandering knight. And then, you could...
Listen, if Chaucer was around to say that for him...
Yeah.
Maybe it would have worked.
Will's problems would have been solved if, Chaucer was just with them all the time to just, intervene and explain stuff.
Yeah, Chaucer can watch him for not saying stupid stuff. Will can watch him so he doesn't gamble. It's a win-win.
Mutually beneficial agreement. And of course, this encounter in which Will reunites with his father and Count Adhemar happens to spot him leads to the whole liar revealed trope, and they get word that the guards are going to arrest Will if he tries to compete in the tourney, and you must run away, and no, I won't, I can't.
Which is the dumbest fucking thing, but again, no one said he was smart.
And also, it's a sports movie.
You have to have the impossible come back and etc.
There's no rule in the book that says a dog can't play. There are rules about, but there are rules about peasants. Oh, yeah.
Oops. Shit. So Will, of course, returns to the field because he wants to keep his honor and immediately gets arrested.
Of course he fucking does.
And gets thrown in the stockade. But not first without having Count Adamar punch of a bunch and do that frickin' Wade measured
found wanting.
Yeah. Doing that line again because they'll come up again at the end, of course. And while he's in the stocks, that's when the prince arrives. And the prince goes like,
oh, the prince in disguise in a gigantic cape, by the way.
Yeah.
Quick question. When did Shakespeare in Love come out compared to this movie?
Oh.
Because that's also what happened with the Virgin Queen in Shakespeare in Love. She just popped up with a fucking cape.
But anyway, the prince goes like, hey, yeah, Will, I like you. And by the way, everybody, I happened to do some digging. Yes. Chaucer, eyes on me. Yes, nod in agreement. Awesome, cool. And
Chaucer be like, I'm following, go for it.
I happen to have discovered that Will here happens to be actually related to nobility far back.
Whoa, real far back.
And if anybody thinks I'm wrong, what, are you calling me a liar?
Who are you gonna trust? Me or your lying eye?
If you think I'm a liar, you are welcome to say so to my face.
And also all my guards' faces, did I mention they're right here.
And we also are the ones that are currently wearing swords.
So let's think about this one.
Who has a law of less majesty on his side?
Who has the law of a big honking wad of iron on his side?
Woo!
Now, Will, you go play that sports ball and knock him dead. Because frankly, I want to see Adamar lose. Come on.
But also because, frankly, he's very good at the sports ball.
Yeah.
And as we know, the Black Prince is super into sports ball. So it's like, yeah.
The prince is in it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, he is.
And Will happens to be like the best jouster like ever in this universe. So yeah, makes sense.
How can I beat the best if the best aren't playing?
Exactly. And also, Adamar, I bet, this is a prince. I bet he's still feeling pissed off that Adamar didn't play him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Even though, to be fair, Adamar was correct.
For once in his miserable life.
Yeah, he made the right move, and I'm sorry that the prince is feeling bitchy about it.
But anyway, we get to have the climactic final series of jousts between Will and Adamar doesn't use a blunted lance.
Cheater!
Oh yeah. And Will gets injured. It's down to the final
countdown.
Final joust. Will, not being able to breathe right in his armor goes like, no, take it off. It's like that moment in like Rocky where it's like, no, cut me. It's that equivalent. This is like the boxing analog here instead of, baseball or whatever. And so Will, without armor.
Well, cause he's gonna die either way. Like if he leaves the armor on, he can't breathe, he's gonna get fucked. But if he takes off the armor, at least he can breathe, and I don't know, maybe he can jump at the last second. Who knows? Yeah. Also, it looks good. Yeah.
It was very, action movie climax thing. And of course, because this is the movie, Will manages to not only win the tourney, but also like completely unhorses Adamar.
Well, that's what he had to do in order to win. He had to unhorse him.
Oh, that's right. He was behind on points.
Because of the stabbing.
Yep. Which,
to be fair, medieval sports ball was fucking rich. I loved it.
Where's the ref?
Well, accents happen.
It's true. Yeah. And of course we get the, last time the Wade measured and found wanting line. We get to have all the characters saying it to him as, he's kind of having like a hallucination on the ground. Well,
he's having a what's it called? The
concussion?
The Bridget Owl Creek moment. I don't know if you can notice this, but he's, Rufus Sewell is clearly raised above the ground by some amount.
I did notice that, and it actually kind of bothered me.
Well, that tells you that it's a vision, or it's a hallucination, or if it's a one brief realization moment, it's supposed to take you out.
It was poorly done.
You're terrible.
I'm right.
But yeah, we get our characters snarkily making fun of them in that vision, which, that says something about your visions where it's like, they're making fun of me.
Even your visions think that you're a little bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, Will wins. He gets to be with his lady love. Everybody walks away as friends. Chaucer presumably goes and writes the Canterbury Tales. The end.
Yep.
That took a while, but you know what? We were having fun along the way.
And isn't that what's important?
Well, I'll save time.
Yeah.
With my really, really quick how I would change this.
Do it.
Yeah.
I would cut at least half an hour. This movie was 2 hours long.
It was 2 hours, 10 minutes, actually.
Dear God.
It was too long. The dance didn't actually need to happen.
Nope.
There were too many montages. And if the melee isn't actually going to be a thing, don't have it be a thing at all.
That's true as well.
Well, I guess he could have gotten money as second place in the joust. Okay.
I mean, I can see it, but you could have replaced the dance scene, or in fact, most of the entire love story, in as much as it's a love story, with, for instance, another melee scene, just to even it out.
It was just, every scene could have been cut by at least a minute. Every single one of them.
See, I disagree about the montages for the most part. I was very fond of them, but it is a sports movie. You gotta be into it for that.
And Chaucer's gambling didn't pay off as much as they thought they would. It needed more or should have been cut.
Yeah, Chaucer's gambling was garbage.
I think we needed a beat number 3 for Chaucer's gambling. Because I think you could have cut that and just had him there for the love of getting a good story. Like, he's a writer. He could have been having writer's block.
Or he could have just been poor in general, like all of them.
Well, nah.
I mean, I think that they wanted to have the intro of Naked Chaucer. To be fair, though, you could have just had him lose once.
Yeah.
Shit happens. It's sports ball. Maybe, he need not be as down on his luckish. He could be temporarily naked, but he could be like, this happens. Yeah, I agree. Okay, Pip, I agree. I think there was really good chemistry between the entire cast, except the romantic leads. I think that you could have... I'm sorry, Pippin. Are you done with your change?
Pretty much. It needed to be shorter.
Yeah. I mean, this could have been a really sweet, hour 40, maybe?
Hour and a half. Let's not push this.
Sports movie, yeah.
I would say hour 40 if you did the change whereby, Jocelyn still exists, and what he realizes is that is way too much fucking trouble. She wants him to lose and then win. This is garbage. And then he sees the love that was there all along. Roland. No, he realizes that he doesn't need to do, all the night stuff. He doesn't need to get the girl too.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I do actually quite like that Kate, was just the girl and didn't end up with anybody. She was just a part of the crew. They didn't automatically, stick her into romantic lead. Because there was a stupid other romantic lead going on.
Yeah. And they could have easily done that with, batting eyes at, Roland or something like that. But they didn't really, I don't think.
Yeah, no, they didn't. At most, they're kind of bro-ish.
Yeah.
Roland's are you, are you a blacksmith or are you a woman? And she's like, sometimes I'm both. And I'm like, yeah.
To be fair, that was a great line.
To be fair, though, I was rewatching clips just to remind myself of specific parts. There's a clip of the fight with that line, and if you look at the clip without knowing the rest of the story, it looks like she is saying that Chaucer and Alan Tudyk, is kind of romantic, though. He's like, what? Are you a blacksmith or a woman? She's like, sometimes I'm both. And I'm like, yeah, girl. You like that slash.
Also, just so everyone knows, there is an after credits scene.
Wait, what?
There's an after credits scene.
What's the after credits scene?
What Roland Chaucer and Kate having a farting contest. Wat loses.
Okay, well, that's clearly not necessary.
And indeed, it too could have been cut. But I watched the credits and watched it, so everyone needs to know about it.
I'm so sorry. I would have kept Jocelyn, because I could sort of see, like, because she is part of the overall dream he has of what it means to be a knight or whatever, right? But then realizing that sometimes your dreams are kind of shit. No. That's some garbage. And that could have gone along with the idea that, yeah, technically Adamar is nobility, but he's not particularly noble, is he?
He could have been a jerk to Jocelyn. Jocelyn could have been a friend.
Jocelyn could have been a great friend. She could have been like she could have been a spy on the inside.
Yes!
Helping with the dance, for instance.
Yes!
But that would have taken out, a sweet 15, 20 minutes worth of
bullshit.
Yeah, if you really love me, you'll lose. Oh.
Let's write a letter that we didn't even mention as being a thing that came up in the story because it really didn't amount to much.
Shit.
Although, one line from the letter ended up in Chaucer's everyday speech later. And I'm like, you're an author, you're stealing shit. I see you. But it wasn't called out in such a way, like with Shakespeare in Love. It wasn't called out where it's like that was on purpose. It felt more like a weird screenwriter in-joke. You know? But, yeah, they could have cut so much. I did like the thing where they all yell at him to be like, you gotta go. And he's like, no! It was a stupid move, but it was very, I feel, sports ballish.
Okay, so just to recap, your change...
Mm-hmm. My change is to still have Jocelyn, I guess.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Have the beginning of... Maybe there's some interest, but then she tries that nonsense, and he's like, what? No, this is dumb. And then we just remove the rest of the romance.
Realizes, wait a moment, I'm just joust sexual.
Yes.
He's in it for the love of the game.
Love the game.
Love the game, man. Love the game.
Love the game. Love the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Al, do you have one?
Yes, for all, I'm gonna say 30 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes of the movie I saw, which also speaks to how long it is that I wasn't even like a third of the way through.
Jesus.
Way too long.
Yeah. Take a wild guess what I could remove. Or at least tweak a little.
Embarrassment stuff.
Yes. Like, for Will, it all goes over his head. Because he is an idiot.
He is.
But it goes over his head and hits, but it arcs and then hits me.
That's a good line.
That's a really good line.
Okay. Like, what if instead of Will being kind of like the lovable idiot and, again, dodging the embarrassment such that hits you in the face, like, what if he kind of instead took the, like, bravado approach where it's like, yeah, he doesn't know the rules and he doesn't care.
Well, kind of like Chaucer. Technically,
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing that Chaucer's running around fucking naked in the first 10 minutes of his appearance. But also, he's owning it. He's like,
Yeah.
hello?
I lost it all gambling, so what?
I mean, it sucks, but mostly because I have no money, not because of this naked thing. That's the thing that's happening. You don't know if I would do that normally.
I would appreciate some shoes.
You got shoes?
If you want to give me clothes, cool. If not, then good day, I'll keep on walking. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I noticed that you need something. I'm just saying I have the ability to give it. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Bye.
Yeah, well, therein lies the problem. If you make Will too clever, then you remove the need for having Chaucer. And
Also, he would notice that this was a fucking stupid idea.
yeah. So, I don't know, like, it really goes back to Kat's thing, cause, you know, remove the romance bullshit, you gotta, like, at least half of the embarrassment humor.
That's true.
It's true.
I have to imagine that if you had at least Chaucer with Will during the potential social embarrassment exposures, then you could have Chaucer doing the equivalent of him explaining what the young lady was hinting at, but like do that for a variety of social interactions, and it's just like Will and Chaucer navigating the social weirdness of medieval England.
Guys,
What?
what if Chaucer and Will get together?
Yeah, I already mentioned that.
Okay, fine. But Brendan's point ran it home for me. Listen, they're spending all this time together. They're both embroiled in this lie. Maybe there's a Cyrano de Bergerac going on, but that's how they realize that actually they mean each other.
And he's whispering in his ear all the time.
Hell yeah. And meanwhile, Kate in the background's going like, it's romantic, isn't it?
Are you a
Yes.
blacksmith or a woman?
Okay. So Al, how does that sound for helping to alleviate the embarrassment side effect?
Might work. Who knows?
We'll never know, because this will never happen. But
Yeah.
Never, ever.
Thank God.
Any other things there, Al?
No, I got nothing.
Okay.
Wait.
Well,
Just throw in more, Canterbury
hell
Tales.
jokes.
It was like, have a miller and a carpenter in the background, not having an argument.
I wonder.
With that one woman, who's the woman?
Wife of Bath?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, what?
She should have been, instead of the maid, it should have been a wife of Bath figure.
Yes.
Being like a nurse for Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Again, bringing it back to Shakespeare. But
And at the start of it, wasn't Jocelyn, dressed as a nun?
She was just dressed very modestly.
Because, I was getting some, prioress vibes from her.
I was getting that initially as well, especially because
Same.
she went to hang out in the church. But I guess
that's
medieval
also
times.
medieval times, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called, the prioress, or was it called a nun? Was there both a nun or a prioress, or just a prioress?
I don't know.
Because I know one of the nuns was just super fake.
Listen, sometimes nuns gotta be fucking around.
Yeah.
I've never read the Canterbury Tales.
What? How did you get out of high school English without that?
Yeah. We had to read that in high school.
Yeah.
To be fair, it might have been assigned.
Oh, okay. Legit. Well, wait, you also didn't have, Schomburg, right?
Yeah, I didn't have Schomburg.
Yeah, I had Schomburg. And that's where it was required for me. I mean, I'm not saying I read it all, obviously. Come on now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Schomburg.
I had to read it, so
I mean, I had to. I'm not saying I did.
I did. You guys suck.
No, I did.
Alex, you know what? You're all right.
In college.
What? You guys suck.
I read so little in high school, you guys. That was actually assigned to me.
In high school, we had a brief segment on it, but it actually just got mentioned and then moved on. But no,
Lol.
also a couple of the stories have a bunch of blood libel in it, so you know.
Yeah, that one, that part's not so good. Also, there's a lot of filthy jokes.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, the miller's wife, cough.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
We all have a brief moment remembering that line. And moving on.
so in the background we see someone unkissing an ass outside of a window. So
It would have been pretty funny if this was, the whole thing was nothing but a Canterbury Tales gag.
It would have been really clever of the writers, and who knows, maybe an initial draft had that, and someone higher up's like, what is this? This is not my sports movie.
The real thing to do would be to check out to see the novelization. That would be where to check it out. Because either they would have gotten an earlier version of the script, which had all the jokes, or they would have been fucking authors and added the jokes anyway.
right, so that's mine. Take out embarrassment humor, add it, and more raunchy jokes.
More secret raunchy jokes.
Yes.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
All right, so that leaves me. I'm going to go a little technical this time around.
Ooh.
One thing that they kind of played up, at least, in the trailers in the movie, but I don't think it was a good idea, was having the modern music playing
I'm
in
gonna
the movie.
disagree with you. I'm
No.
gonna disagree with you so bad.
Hold on. You
Okay.
can't disagree until I actually explain my plan here,
Okay.
because I'm not saying take out the modern music. That's
Alright.
not what we're gonna go for here. You'll also notice that at least how when the movie started, it was all diegetic. So it was like the audience doing the thump thump clap, we will rock you stuff. The change I'm proposing is
Make it a musical.
no.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is all the characters in the movie, in the world, start off doing kind of like what you'd almost expect in terms of like high energy, but still medieval sounding music and instrumentation, except for when Will does his nightly jousting thing. And that's when the modern music creeps in. Like,
Cause
his
he
first,
is. Mm-hmm.
yeah, cause what's happening here is like that first joust, like when he's wearing the imitation armor, it's like subtle, but like, it's almost like a power chord plays when he knocks the other guy off or something. And it's like, it's subtle enough that you could almost be like, nah, I didn't hear that. That was just the armor hitting. Okay, cool. That was in time to the background music of like, dulcimers or whatever.
Dulcimers or whatever. A Knight's Tale.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing, as, more and more characters follow along with Will and believe in him. As characters kind of join his party and become like true believers that Will is the knight.
The chosen one.
That's when we start seeing the modern music creep in more and more up until we get to like the, like kind of climax of the movie where like when they get the liar revealed bit, like things smash back to being like, classical music or whatever. But then we get to that final jousting sequence, and that's when we build up. Somehow we can have our sound designer have a field day here, composer go nuts. That's when we have like the crowd, like maybe during that final joust when he takes off the armor, that's when they do the thump, thump, clap, thump, thump, clap.
Yeah, they really should have built up to We Will Rock You.
Yeah, they
We
should
Will
have
Rock You
built to it.
I mean, if we're talking sports ball, that's a strong contender.
The reason why I'm going for this is that I want to have the modern music be the symbolic gesture of having Will represent the field of jousting or field of baseball or whatever, changing, becoming modern, going into the new era.
Which is supported by the vision that Aldemar has of saying, yeah, everybody's saying, it's a new world. Guess what? You're not better just because you're noble.
Yeah, no. And I'd almost maybe see if we can't hammer that home where like, maybe for the immediate problem of Will being arrested, the prince does all that, but maybe there could be just a decree that, hey, you can prove yourself in the minor leagues and compete in the proper jousting tournaments if you're just that good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because why the heck not? Will here clearly proved that jousting is improved when everybody gets to compete.
And the important thing is the sport.
Exactly.
But will we let women compete? There's the question.
I mean, come on now, let's not be crazy. Come on now.
But yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I want to build up to the modern music, and like we're gonna see like flourishes of it throughout the entire movie. We could even see like maybe in the halfway point when he's like really starting to get on a roll and establishing himself as like the knight to beat. That's when you start seeing like almost like the bardcore covers of the pop songs. So it's like the modern music, but being played on the classical instruments. So it's like the fusion of the two. But then like right at the end, that's when we kind of get the We Will Rock You crowd. Like everybody is in on this now, except for, Aldemar because he's kind of a jerk.
You know, I would say that the only other place that you really need, quote unquote, need to have the modern music is the dance scene, which we've all already gotten rid of. Like every single one of us has gotten rid of.
Yeah.
Because it's a garbage scene. So I think that then works, Bren. I like that.
As a standalone scene, I don't mind the dance. Like just taken just out of context or whatever. That's Will's TikTok feed that happens later.
No, I mean, it's a good trap. It's a great trap that Aldemar's laying for him. It shows it's a good moment of Jocelyn coming to his rescue. It's a good show of, and it's a great transition. It shows what the modern music is supposed to be in this film. Which is that, because the music starts with traditional medieval sounding music and it transitions to, oh, this is what they hear. This is their understanding of what this is some funky dance music.
I just want to have the build up and just the payoff if we will rock you at the very end.
Yeah. Well, because Queen deserves.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Queen royalty.
Oh, jeez.
See? But, I mean, getting back to your point, I mean, just because it's a scene that works in and of itself does not mean it's a scene that, one, should stay, Murder Your Darlings, or a scene that works in the overall film.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, again, goes back to Murder Your Darlings.
And you were going to strongly disagree with what I was saying.
I thought you were going to say they shouldn't have done it diegetically.
Ha! That's right.
My bad.
That was my trap.
And let this be a lesson about letting your siblings finish their sentences.
Fucking
Cat.
wow. First of all, I don't appreciate being called out. And second of all, I don't appreciate that you are right about being calling me out.
That's the thing, like, I don't mind modern flourishes and music kind of creeping into historical fantasy settings because you know what? That's why we're doing movies in the first place.
What?
What?
That doesn't sound right.
Sounds fake.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's me. Technical, but you know what? I think it would have improved it.
I mean, you went technical. I went to cut half an hour. Where we were all at.
Yep.
So what I like is that if you look at the story itself, for the most part, we're not changing it. We're just cutting shit. Cut.
In this case, we are the long-suffering editor that's like, listen.
We are George Lucas's wife.
Oh, can we? Come
it.
on, I want that sweet, sweet Star Wars cash.
Seriously.
I'll put up with George Lucas for that.
Same, honestly. Come on.
Yep.
My girlfriend will understand.
She supports you. It would be fine.
All right. So do we have time for a quick game?
I mean, technically no, but since that is the premise of our podcast.
And also, the entire movie was about games.
Games?
What?
I almost want to talk about Laundry Day.
Yeah.
We should do Laundry
fuck.
Day.
We should do Laundry Day.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to explain what Laundry Day game is?
Laundry Day is what is everyone doing when the plot isn't happening. For instance, when are these characters doing their laundry?
When are they taking care of their fucking horses?
Aww.
Also, here's the thing. Okay, here's my actual Laundry Day thing. Because Will's pretending to be a noble, he can't be seen doing any of the chores he'd normally be doing with them.
Which they did hint at during the horse riding scene.
Yep.
Just before they meet Chaucer.
That just goes to show that even when no one's looking, he's gonna be pulling that shit.
Hey, I don't remember. Why was he the one who got to be on the horse? Like, why was he the knight?
He's the one who's the best at fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though he also was shit at it.
Well, because what's his head, the Lord, would train with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Will was the one that got beaten up a bunch with a sword.
Which explains the brain damage. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just want a scene of them doing laundry, and bitching about Will not helping. And what they may do to his clothes.
Oh.
Hilarious.
I have to imagine, like, at some point when they're, like, camped in the middle of nowhere and they know nobody's around for miles, they just all dump his clothes. Dump everybody's clothes in Will's tent.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things I appreciate about this movie is that Roland is the one who busily sews his dance outfit. And there's like there's no complaining about it. He's just like cheerfully sewing and making fun of what?
Nice.
It's surprisingly for a late 90s, early 2000s film, the sexism isn't as bad as it could have been.
It really couldn't have been, yeah. Weirdly.
I mean,
It was pretty bad, though.
it was pretty bad, but let's remember
by
the
comparison to the 90s.
the 90s, and let us not even say the 80s.
Oof.
The bar is so fucking, we're just stepping over it.
Yep. But hey, you have to take that first step before you can leap.
Yeah.
So for my change, for my Laundry Day,
Uh-huh.
Chaucer actually sitting down and fucking writing.
Wait, that sounds
Not
fake.
realistic, he's a writer.
Fake. That's why he's gambling all the time. He's like, I have a book due. Or...
Yeah.
So Al, who in the crew keeps on nagging him to do his writing?
Can it be what?
But in a really antagonistic, I bet you're not really a writer kind of way.
Yes!
And then eventually gets like, write or fong you. Well, was it fong or was it?
It
was
Fong.
Fong.
I don't know what that means. I didn't really get that.
I think it's because in a PG whatever film, they couldn't say fuck.
Uh-huh.
Or presumably fuck you up, because they could definitely fuck. Pain.
But no, Chaucer finally sitting down, takes his quill, takes his penknife, and starts sharpening the quill a bit. Takes the ink bottle out, like unstoppers the cork, dabs it in the quill, blots it, sets the quill to page, and then sits there for 10 fucking minutes.
Then he realizes that maybe the pen's not sharp enough. Gotta resharpen that, obviously.
It's dried off.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem.
Is it lunchtime already? Oh.
Oh,
Oof.
but you kept sharpening it. Now you've split it. Gotta find a whole other feather now.
Now these quills are good. You're gonna have to find a new fucking hen. No. You treat yourself. Get a goose feather. No. A partridge.
But they don't have partridges in France. That's fine, that's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do for art. Like somebody in the background being like, we have partridges. Shh, no art!
All right.
Yeah.
That seems fun. That's a fun scene.
Where we just dunk on authors for half an hour.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I live.
That's how we grew up.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so you know how I said I liked Roland and his sewing?
Uh-huh.
You'll notice that everybody's costumes get better as they get more money throughout. Right? But they're still reasonable people. So maybe they're buying the fabric and there's just Roland in the evening quietly sewing. Having a nice time. Listen, he seems to genuinely enjoy it. He seems to be good at it. Fuck it. Why can't men be into the fiber arts? No good reason.
Yeah.
Do you think he picks up a couple of medieval equivalent of magazines in this universe that are all about sewing?
Some wood blocks. Some wood prints.
Wood blogs, yeah.
Yep.
Or actually, you would have, I don't know if this is too early for that, but you might have fashion dolls. Because, the creepy dolls from the past? A lot of those were supposed to be basically miniature mannequins you could carry around.
Oh.
That would have the clothing. Because you don't want to make the full-size clothing. That's expensive.
Of course.
So you'd have, a fashion doll, and you'd show those around. I don't know if this is too early for that, but fuck it. We're making this up. Why not?
I mean, we have modern music creeping in. There are no rules. There are no gods. There are no kings. Wait, there is a king.
We didn't see him, though.
That's true. No kings.
No kings, no masters.
Just a prince, and he was an incognito.
So, was he even really there? You don't know. Oh my god, but can you imagine, Roland, wandering into, a tailor shop? And people being like, are you sure you're supposed to be here? And he's like, yep. And then he's just trying to buy some fabric, but then he ends up, getting into discussions with, but are you sure? Because wooden toggles are, I hear, the new thing.
Are they now?
That seems very low class. It's like, well, if you do it with a half over stitch.
I'm just imagining, like a Scottish. If you do it with a half over stitch, it's going to be, gonna be a right proper,
Stop.
I think you'll find that you'll get a quite nice line on the gentleman. And thank you. That's Kat tries to do any English accent and instead does all of them poorly at once.
Huzzah.
Good job.
She does, was he Jimmy Stewart or was he, who was in Chitty Bang Bang or Mary Poppins?
Oh, Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke was in both.
Yeah. Or Kat does Dick Van Dyke.
Indeed, my best Dick Van Dyke.
Okay. So it's me, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing that kind of gets briefly mentioned is that Kate invents a new alloy.
Oh yeah, that part.
So I'm just picturing when she's not outright making lots of neat toys and weapons and stuff like that, which of course she does. Whenever they make camp, she has her entire blacksmith setup on the go there because there's always work to be done.
Always work to be done.
But I'm just imagining she also You know that, like, classic painting of The Alchemist?
Yeah, yeah.
She has, like, a titration set. She's, like, going full-on mad science.
Hot.
Is she trying to
Very hot.
transmute base metals into gold?
She's
Dude.
succeeding.
She's medieval Tony Stark.
Yes.
Yeah!
That's kind of what I was going with. Like, she is on the verge of some sort of breakthrough. And what do you know it? This team, she's actually making some considerable bank. And you know, Will, he doesn't know any better about preconceptions about armor and stuff like that. That's why he kind of begrudgingly at first, but really accepted wearing that new armor prototype she made.
Little did he realize that it could technically explode in certain temperatures. But fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
At any particular point, yes.
it. Just any time.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just my idea here, is that she just sets up like a full-on mad science, chemistry, alchemy lab.
What I love about that is that it implies, if she's like a medieval Tony Stark, it implies that she could have been so much more of an asshole.
Yep.
And I am so into that. Like, imagine if she and Chaucer had just decided to team up. Not romantically. They just decided to, like, I can't even think of the word, but they were both dunking on various people, like, together, but sometimes not. It could be really cool.
We could have them dunking on historical figures. It'll be great.
Yes. Yeah.
And just for fun, I think she also makes her own alcohol.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously.
Sure.
That's, like, point number one.
Oh yeah. You don't know about the quality of this drinking water. It could be bad.
True.
Well, like historically, beer brewers were women.
That's true.
There you go.
And historically, water was bad.
And Kate is badass.
Hell yeah. What if she uses her beer as a special thing for dipping her metal in?
Ah.
So that's part of her secret
quench.
process, but also it makes her beer amazing.
Iron beer.
It'll put hair on your chest.
Ooh.
At which point Chaucer's like, do you? And she's like, you'll never know. Glug.
So yeah, that's me, and I think that's all of us.
Yeah. See, it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, a lot of change. A lot to
Yeah.
change.
Lot to change, but I'm still very fond of this movie because I think I selectively forget a lot of it.
Yeah.
So the parts that I remember are great.
I think, yeah, being at that right age, like you would have been like, what, early high school?
2001, I was a freshman in college, baby.
Ah. Still,
I have no excuse.
Well, freshman in college, yeah, they're still babies.
Yeah, it's true. But
I mean,
also,
not to denigrate any college age listeners, you guys are awesome.
you're also babies because I probably know you. So,
Aw.
yeah, no chocolate for you. She says to her active listeners.
Haha.
Yeah, but also though, Heath Ledger was, and Rufus Sewell, and the guy who played the Baratheon, actually. Because he was in, there were a lot of favorite characters, like actors of mine in that movie.
No love for Paul Bettany? For shame.
I hadn't seen a lot, he wasn't in my 90s crew. Like, Rufus Sewell, he was in Cold Comfort Farm, so I liked him from that. And I think he was also in Hamlet, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet.
He was.
Yeah, playing,
Fortinbras.
yeah, young Fortinbras.
Yeah, there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, again, The Full Monty, I was very fond of that movie. And so on. So and Heath Ledger, 10 Things I Hate About You. So I was kind of primed
Fair
to
enough.
like this movie. Who played the Black Prince? He's somebody, isn't he?
Pep, you have IMDb.
He looked familiar.
Did he was saying his name was Colville?
Yeah, Thomas.
But he's also Prince Edward.
Sure, but what I have on IMDb is Colville.
Oh yeah, okay, him.
He's played by James Purfoy.
Yeah!
Who's he from?
He's from stuff. British stuff, I think.
Yeah.
You know, those British people, like they do.
All right.
All right. So I think that was all we really have to talk about with A Knight's Tale.
Indeed.
Before we go, do we have any new things to plug?
I mean, not new, but as always, I have my microzine, the Small Thoughts and Minor Hours magazine, which you can get through my Patreon, or if you go to my website, catherinecrichton.com. I have it linked there. And I have a story coming out from Apex in issue 123, which I think is coming out sometime in May, called Demon Fighters Suck.
Cool. And I have my shows coming up with the Arcade Comedy Theater's YouTube page. I will usually update that on Twitter when we have a show coming up. Yeah. It's gonna be like the second weekend of the month, at least, for the short term foreseeable, future. So yeah, look forward to that. And I'll sometimes be on the Thursday night lucky draws.
Ooh. And Alex and Pippin, do you have anything to show for yourselves?
Just the glory that is myself.
I see.
So
and
nothing.
winning smiles.
Nothing. Oh.
All right.
Someday they're going to kick our asses, Brent.
Yeah, but today is not that day.
So true.
They have been weighed.
They have been measured.
Holy fucking shit.
And
They have been found wanting.
Gotta kick both asses.
Okay. So that being said, as always, if you have an idea or prompt to submit, head on over to nostoriessacred.com/submission. Follow us on Twitter at nostoriesacred, or send us an email through contact@nostoriessacred.com. Your hosts have been Alex McDonald, Brendan McDonald, Pippin McDonald, and Catherine Crichton. Editing and music for this episode done by Brendan. Transcript done by Ashley DaCosta. Art by Jay Wolf. Show notes and transcript are available at nostoriessacred.com. Thanks for listening, everyone, and please rate, review, and subscribe to No Story is Sacred. You can visit our Patreon page to support the show and get neat rewards at patreon.com/nostoriissacred. See you next time when we talk about the 1997 film... Wait, what? No.
Yep.
Batman and Robin. No.
Not like this. Not
like this.
Not like this.
Until then, where no story is sacred, and any story can be changed. I'm Brendan.
I'm Pippin.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Kat.
And we're
No Story is Sacred.
Sacred.